boys. So after our live stream, we took this trade here on live. Let's just go over that real quick. Right. So when I came today, all the other assets like NQES, YM, they all had draws reached. They all expanded prior to driver. But on YM, we had this at least. We had this as a framework. We had an open draw still, so I was more interested in this. And we got the strength switch here with YM with this hourly gap. So that was my framework pretty much. That's pretty much all we had on YM or indices. You can see the strength just there. And we got the three minute CSD. So we took this live to this low. So as I stated in my recaps prior, like yesterday, for example, I was talking about consecutive candle SMT, and you'll learn more about this when the course gets updated. It gets updated every month with a new lesson or something, right? We're going to talk about more about gap selection in the next drop. So here's a little, I guess, insight on that is what I was talking about earlier. Yesterday, like when you have these consecutive candle gap SMTs, it's a it's technically universal model, right? It's IRL, ERL, but you see how small it is and how quick it's going to be completed. That's nothing, right? You're not going to get 2R to low. You know what I'm saying? You're basically short in low of day. And yeah, you're basically short in low of day when you do this. So when it's like this, consecutive candle SMT, ideally you are either within a universal model, for example, maybe it's higher time frame IRL to ERL, and then this is your consecutive candle SMT, right? Like this, and your draw hasn't been hit yet. You know, it's like that ideally. We don't have that here. So when it's not like this, you would need to have a close proximity draw on liquidity to get basically to get to, right? So you're kind of using this key level to get to here, essentially, all right? So it's not like the most high probable trade of all time, but I stated that. I was like, you know, we're going to go half risk here because, again, it's still not that high probability. You're basically short in low of day, but it's good enough to take, you know, especially for like eval trade or like a trading day trade to just get, you know, your $150 for a trade, a trading day, like really good trade. Like if I wasn't live streaming, these are the type of trades I take, and I just close the trade at $200, like legit. Because you know, when you have a buffer, there's no point of going for more RR. To be honest, like there's literally no point. But this trade here is really unfortunate. It got to, you know, our TP is 2.2R, so they're gonna go break even here as price goes to 2R, reach a 2R, and then it fucking reverses, dog. Like hits break even, so that's like super unlucky. It is what it is, but it came back for a reason. Looks like in this trade here happened a little bit after stream, so I cut stream off like 10:30. This here happened later on, and this is a really good trade. So you have an SMT fill up here. Jesus Christ, what's all that? All these messages. All right, so but yeah, price ended up coming back. So 10:30 opens up here, comes all the way up here to this gap high on the 90 minutes. And this is a high probable gap. You're also going to learn this in gap selection as well, right? What are the highest probable gaps? It's when a gap higher low on the higher time frame is a lower time frame relevant swing. So you see this is a lower time frame relevant swing, right? And a higher time frame gap. So the low of this gap on the 90 minute is a lower time frame relevant high, right? These are very high probable gaps. And this is even confirmed by a strength as PSP. So it's very nice. So this is a bullish candle. This is a bearish candle. Super nice trade. And I think this trade here is even better than the one we took this morning because now you actually have a real retracement. This is not like consecutive candle SMT. Like this is actual low being put in. Like these are the ideal retracements you want to be trading after you actually, you know, start expanding. You want a real retracement, like an hourly low put in where you can get 2R to that low, you know. And it's even better, obviously, when you have an aligned draw, which of course you have it right here. Right, so this is even better. This trade's even better, man. And you get very clear reversal signatures, just like you did up here. I think this is clear as fucking day, right? V shape. Ideally, you take it right here, like on the close. So this is the close of the 15-minute candle. You go into the new open. You're basically opening up within the gap. You just mark execute. I was getting coffee here, and I just ran to the gas station after. So when I got back, you're gonna see where I was, where price was at. But ideally, you take it right here, like right here. You mark execute, boom, you get in. Ideally right there, but I got into the charts around here, at a very good time when we were tracing into this propulsion block. I took it on YM. So I got on the charts, back on the charts when it was like retracing into this propulsion block. So this is my entry, my exact entry, like right here. I put my stop loss around here. I actually recorded this too. Um, if you guys want to watch that, but dude, holy crap, this took forever, dude. This is like, you see where I entered the trade basically, like right here. I recorded this whole thing an hour long, dude, and it was even longer to hit TP. Like holy shit, I can't believe how long this took. But yeah, like I can go break even here, guys. So we got a nice decent retracement into our propulsion block. This is a really good propulsion block to enter from, guys, because of how deep it retraces. You know, this retraces pretty deep into this, you know, for CSD, and that high is in EQ, right? So that propulsion block high is a very relevant high. We shouldn't be returning there. Unlike if it was like a small little retracement CSD, you know, those aren't really that trustworthy. But this was a very nice one, right? So I put entered there on the retest, basically not on retest, but just mark execution as it was kind of retracing here, because you know I get 2R to the low anyways, and as we retrace into the propulsion block, this is when we can go break even on a continuation entry, because I'm technically trading continuation right now, and very rarely kind of you get to mitigate your risk this early into a continuous entry, because you do need that nice retracement. This is why I do like entering the first CSD always, or the first gap, is because you can go break even very quickly, right? For example, let's say you enter this first straight up here, maybe this gap, like I talked about. You could probably get away with putting your stop loss at EQ of that wick. For example, you get about 2.5R. You can move your stop loss already, bro. As soon as you get this CSD here, look how quick that is. That's over 50% risk mitigated. And then of course, if you got this first CSD up here, you're already break even, right? Because this entry here tagged EQ of this range here. But with this trade, once you get this, I entered the 5-minute close. Like once we got the 5-minute close, this is when I went break even, not break even, but mitigated my risk. So I got to move my stop loss. Risking. I put my stop loss around here, whatever, right? Whatever the risk is. Like it doesn't matter if you put up here 65, all the way into 39. That's not quite half. Probably like 40% risk off, right? So you get to trim your stop loss a little bit there, which is nice. So that's just showing you how I manage that. But yeah, dude, I thought this was gonna be a quick video, dude. Like, bro, this is fucking ridiculous. I thought I was gonna get cooked again on, well, not cooked, but like edged again, bro. But we entered, around here. This is a quick video, like 15 minutes. I was thinking, right? I think, this is a quick video to upload. Nope, dog. This shit took forever. So I just ended the freaking video at an hour, because this is why I don't record entries, bro. It takes forever, bro. This is 2 hours, man. Like, ain't no one gonna watch that. So, I mean, if you guys want the recording, sure. But other than that, I could just do this recap. I mean, it's the same freaking thing. But this is a trade for like 2R or something like that. Really good trade. I think it's a great trade, to be honest. Really good trade. Ideally, take on an RTY if you get that first entry. But RTY, like the second entry, for example, like right here, that second entry, like the, it's just not as big of a retracement, as you can see, but it's not 2R as well. It's that low, so I just took this. I mean, it looked like it was very nice either way. And yeah, man, there was some funded accounts that I didn't actually get to trade. Again, didn't get to hit a trading day for, so I took it on YM. On these accounts, or on most of my accounts, at least I didn't have some hooked up, but most of my accounts I got a trading day. This is what I took personally on live, like, because again, it doesn't really matter. I just need a trading day for real. I just trailed my stop to 200 bucks. Like when it was like down here, I went break even, of course, but I trailed my stop loss into $200 just to hit my trading day on most of my accounts, because most accounts are at buffer and stuff like that. And yeah, that's just annoying, like, because I know most of you guys that took this trade with me got a break even, but hopefully a lot of you guys took this as well. Like this is even better. Like this is even better right here, man. It's a great trade. So we guys took that. And yeah, that's probably the best trade on indices, to be honest. Like this week maybe. It's just that it's just one of those obvious trades, like the only, you know, relevant high for continuation, or to these equal lows. Um, yeah, you get that proper retracement, like as you can see, like 30-minute proper retracements, which is a little bit nicer, you know. I will go over gold as well. I'll go over gold right now. Fuck it. I also called this on gold as well. So we're watching. We start trading at like, you know, the live stream at like 9:15 or so. We had this nice universal model. So you know the weekly the weekly, you know, weekly model played out already. IRL ERL here with silver. As you can see, you get this SMT fill. And yesterday the whole model was completed in the same day. Pretty crazy, but the whole model was completed yesterday. So when you take out a higher time from draw on liquidity like this, you want to wait for a new phase of price on the higher time frame. So for example, after you take this draw on liquidity out, you don't want to be trading anymore. This all you don't want to be trading. It's like a no-go zone, right? You want to wait for a new phase of price on the 4-hour and above, ideally. And that's exactly what we get. So if you take EQ of the pre-stage range, you take the gaps in the equilibrium, right? Those are the only gaps we care about. As you can see, this gap up here gets tagged SMT fill. This right here is the 10 o'clock gap over here on silver. 10 o'clock gap is right here. So ideally, if you're trading this reversal candle with this large wick, see large wick, ideally you trade the actual low of day, right? The low of day is what you want to be trading, but we don't have that confirmation. It's a double sweep SMT. I don't use double sweep SMT. If it was a PSP, that would be cool, but it's not a PSP either. So there's no trading low of day, unfortunately. You guys know mechanically to trade a reversal candle, it's in the course. You have to mark out the opening price of a reversal candle, mark it down to the reversal like this, and your stop loss needs to be in discount mechanically, right? Because we don't know where this candle is going to close. You have no idea where this candle is going to close. It's going to have a hard time expanding beyond the opening. We know reversal candles have that tendency. So mechanically, that's just how I trade it, right? And unfortunately, this gap right here, dude, is not in EQ or in discount, sorry. So your entry can be, entry can be in EQ or like in premium even, but your stop loss needs to be down here. And ideally, when you're trading reversal candle, yeah, you trade the very reversal. Like your stop loss is at that low. That's the best. But for continuation, yeah, you need your stop loss down here, bro. It's in the course. It's mechanical. Like that's just how I'm gonna go about it always. So mechanic, I can't take that. Unfortunately, it's really like clean sequence though, like very very clean. Like you have this. It's a PSP, so this is a bearish candle. This is a bullish candle. You absolutely cannot take this on silver though, bro. Like look at silver. You're basically taking it right here. I mean, you're basically entering at the opening price of the 6 a.m. candle. It's just, I would never do that. I don't do that. But look at the phase of price. Like it's very clean. Look at the expansion. When you hit a higher super key level, you create that swing point. When you look for continuation, you want to see these signatures as price has already expanded away from the original swing point, creating a little day and confirming this higher super key level. You want to see these higher time frame V shapes, just like I saw that exactly when you created this SMT. What is this right here? V-shaped signature, creating a gap, right? This is what we want to see away from our higher time frame key level. Just like we got this weekly SMT fill, like look at this expansion, this V shape. It's expansion away from key level. That's what we're going to see, and that's what we get. It's very nice. So although like, we get this right here, just being disciplined and mechanical about our approach and stuff, I can't take this, unfortunately. You just got to wait for 10 o'clock, really. So once that rolls around, you can see that silver hits this high. So now you have an SMT up here, which we're not really anticipating to hold necessarily because of the sequence that we have on the opposing side, right? What are both assets doing at this point? They're both V-shaping, they're both continuing from the gap, but you do have definitely some space out SMT, right? This asset is like discount, while this asset is in premium above the high. So you want to strength switch in this scenario to trade 10 a.m. continuation. You get the PSP as well, right? Bearish candle, bullish candle. We want to look for continuation really, but you are going to be opening up within a gap, right? So, or a future gap. Now, one thing we'll also learn about fading gaps, and I said this on stream, like this gap is okay to fade. It's never 100%, but we have a mechanical system to do it, and we know when and where breakaway gaps are most likely to form, right? But you can't get it right all the time. But yeah, you can see that, when we open up 10 a.m., for example, if these wicks don't meet, if this wick doesn't meet this wick, you're going to have a future gap there, right? So how do these typically form is you're going to have an early SMT fill that is actually forming the low of this candle right here, right? So let's go look at that. This is always how it looks, like this. So as you can see, you get that string switch. And since there's a bunch of time, there's a ton of time left in this candle. This just formed, right? There's like 45 minutes left in this hourly candle, and it's in discount, right? This gap that's being formed is in discount. And these are where most likely gaps are being left open. It's typically in discount, right? Because especially on the higher time, like the hourly, for example, if the hourly just reversed and hasn't really hit anything, a new phase of price is not likely to occur, really, right? So like this is typically where they form, and as you can see, there's a lower time for SMT fill forming the low of the higher time candle. So I didn't take this personally because there's no reason for me to take any more trades on my funded account when I already hit my trading day on RTY or had a guaranteed trading day on RTY. So I did call it out though, said it was valid. My main TP though was these highs, right, for 3R, because it was just kind of hard to anticipate if we're gonna get here today, just because they're so spaced out. But this is nice, right? Look at these equal highs up here, these flare sync highs. So this was a nice trade that we called out there. So yeah, some nice overall framework, right? Look at the profile, guys, as well. It's a big thing here as well. Look what is it doing? We're opening low first. Silver really had a phase of price that really supported this continuation, right? So it's a big thing. When you trade into a key level, you want phase of price to support it. Like what I mean by that, when you hit a key level, look at the opposing side of that range. What did price look like before it got to the key level? So like this weekly SMT, for example, we have the weekly SMT, right? What do we want to see on the opposing side of that manipulation? Consolidations, right? Or slow, choppy movements, creating failure swings. This is what I mean by phase of price supporting your universal model, because those are continuous signatures after expansion, right? You got this expansion. What do we get here? Consolidation, really. Why do we know it's consolidation or retracement? Because we're leaving these equal highs. Once we left these equal highs, there's no established high of the week. There's no SMT up here. It'd be a little bit different if we're coming off of a relevant reversal. If we're actually manipulating here and V-shaping down here, it's a little bit concerning. Now that would be a nice ERL to IRL trade. That would be nice for sure. So you could trade that, but it's even better when we're coming off of no established reversal, right? Because now you have a potential established reversal down here with SMT through key level. You always want SMT through key level, and no established highs at the opposing, right? And the same thing here. Like this phase of price, look at it. It's just consolidation, pretty much. This consolidation, very choppy movement. So when we trade into this gap and form SMT, again, you want SMT with the key level. That's supporting, this phase of price is supporting this idea. You get it? So hopefully that makes sense. Anyway, that's what we had, right? You can see it. It's very choppy movement, creating a bunch of failure swings. So that was pretty nice. This is a really good overall PA. Although we couldn't take this mechanically, unfortunately, right here. But there's always another opportunity. We got the strengths that we wanted. It's basically candle 3, right? So candle 2 right here is trading into a key level. It expanded, so inside of the expansion candle, we have a gap, right, inside of it. And that's the SMT fill that forms the low of C3 on 30-minute. And the low, or I should say the high of that future gap, right? But it's low in the range, right, after we just reversed. So yeah, man, that's pretty much it. I did also want longs as well. This didn't really play out too much. I wanted longs on this asset mainly because, so you see this right here? This asset took out the previous high. I think that, yeah, that's the previous high there. This is the previous high on these assets. And you see how close the proximity SMT is? Pretty close proximity there. Pretty close proximity over here for sure. like very, very close proximity SMT. And this asset just failed to manipulate this high, like it traded way through it. So I'm thinking longs, which is a little bit awkward because, you know, we have gold longs and oil longs. That's not ideal. But I wouldn't be bearish. That's for damn sure, right? I was thinking that this was a strength switch SMT fill. Boom. Right, because this is a bearish candle. These assets are bullish right here. Bullish, bullish. So I'm thinking this is a strength switch, right? Boom. That's what I'm thinking there. And you go to a lower time frame. This is basically the SMT right here. It's kind of awkward. It's not this low. It's technically that low. So it's a little bit awkward, but this V shape is very nice. I'm not sure if anyone took this, but also said this is valid. Again, I didn't take it because there's no point for me to take it. But you see the CSD, like ideally you get a retest or like something to get you 2R to this high. So the way you'd have to take this is wait for a gap, but that doesn't really help either because your stop loss, I mean, it's still down here, right? But the only way you take this trade is if you pull your stop loss way up here so you get 2R, which is a little bit riskier, but you know, that's up to you kind of if you want to do that. But this ends up edging too, bro. Ends up definitely edging as well. Kind of just bullshitting. But I mean, you can go break even at some point up in here. Whether you go break even at this CSD, I mean, I'd probably go break even right here, dude. Like if you draw this here to here, like that's a 50% retracement and we're starting to expand away. We don't have the CSD, but I mean, that's a V shape to me. Like I'd be going break even right here. So that'd be a small loss right there. Boom, you get tagged right there. I mean, maybe you don't, you know, trust this as a CSD. I mean, you get one right here. I mean, you gotta go break even here. So it doesn't fucking matter. Whichever one you do, you're getting stopped out there. So price just ends up bullshitting, so I'd probably leave it alone. I know later on we get like this strength switch here. So you have this 4-hour SMT, and then you have SMT right here. Again, with like RV or something. It's right there. See this SMT, boom. It's like right there. So if you took this, I mean, that's also valid, I would say. So first CSD, for example, on 5 minute, 3 minute, whatever. Probably 5 minute here, I suppose. This is also valid. Oops. You have enough RR to this high, 3.6. That's cool. And then you get this CSD right here, and then it's just like another break even, bro. Go mechanically. Does it retrace 50%? Yep. As you can see, retraces 50%, gives you CSD. Move your stop loss there. And you would take like a small little loss. I mean, you could technically go break even as well. First stop loss to the body there. Doesn't matter. You just take a break even there, just fails. So this is why, guys, entry the first CSD is so forgiving because all you need is a continuation. You see what I mean? You can go break in very quickly, logically, because most people are entering right here anyways, bro. They're entering right here anyways. It's much harder to go break even on these continuation entries, and typically you have to be right about the whole trade playing out. Whereas if I enter the first CSD, I only have to be right about a continuation. That's it. And I can move my stop loss there, where you can mitigate risk or go break even. So it's very forgiving in that aspect. I don't know what's doing right now though. I think we just have like this SMT or some shit. Something. Yeah, I guess it like reswept for some reason. And now it's going. Let's see if there's any like 2-stage there. Is that a strength switch or no? I mean, technically a strength switch, but I mean, we already had the strength switch and it just kind of like failed. So I guess we're doing it again. I don't know, dude. Price would be bullshitting. But I guess, I don't know if anyone took this, but I guess you'd take that right there. That's a nice V shape for sure. Over here, if you took it right here, you could already be basically break even. See what I mean? But this will probably get hit overall. Yeah, I took this PM session. It's not PM really. It's like late AM session around about 11:30. So almost PM. But I thought that was pretty clean, guys. So that's pretty much my day. That's what we took on live. We took shorts on RTY. It just ended up playing out later. We took longs on this. Ended up playing out. I went longs over here as well. Just ended up kind of chopping around. But yeah, that's our day, guys. Pretty good day though. Like overall, like I'm not mad about it. This is my first AM trade in a very long time. Like these are things you want. You want open draw. You want a refined key level. We got it. You want it in a sequence that makes sense. So this is a strength switch. We know that YM took this a long time ago. I will only take this trade if it's a strength switch. And we got it. We finally got something in AM, so I take it. Literally my first trade, probably an AM session, in like 2 weeks, bro. Because literally there's nothing to take, bro. For me up in here, that's high probable. Like I want all sessions, or not all, sorry. I want both assets that I'm trading, or all 3 assets, to make sense to reverse higher or lower, and you just haven't had that, bro. Especially last week where this asset's just going lower, this asset's just going higher, very low probability. I do have like 3 trades now this week on indices, or actually 4 now, technically. 2 today. I took 1 win in over here on, what day was this? Monday, maybe? Yeah, Monday. This is like a low probable like framework with high probable sequences. Kind of like today. I mean, this isn't the greatest trade of all. This is not like high probable framework necessarily. Like today, it's just an hourly key level, really, on both trades, but it's a high probable sequence, right? What do I mean by that? Why is this low probability? Because the SMT up here, dude, it's like double sweep. It's pretty mid in my opinion. It's just a bunch of sweeps, bro. Kind of like Seek Destroy almost. It's not very high probable. Like look at YM, it's way down here. ES right here. You see what I mean? Like, it's just like a bunch of highs right here. The high of day, all assets swept this high. Like there's SMT here, like maybe it's better. Or maybe this would be a lot better if we had an SMT like here and a strength up here, like with this high. Maybe if it didn't take this high, strength is there, that'd be valid. This is also kind of weird when you look at just overall price action. YM again way to the low. ES just broke this low. Right, so you have like a potential triad sequence where this asset breaks SMT, NQ has, this right here, right? But you want a strength switch here, which you never get at the lows to like go higher. It's like potentially delayed protraction because this candle has a large wick up to the upside. But we trade into this gap. So the price does go higher, just not very far. When we trade into this gap, you get a strength switch PSP. So at this point also, when you get the strength switch PSP, look at ES. It's a complete failure to manipulate this low. Like look at it. Completely failure to manipulate this low. So that means that there is no trade sequence and that this asset can potentially catch up to this low. But to me, it was getting a little late in the day and I didn't think we'd get here. Just honestly, so I just took it to here, bro. Like a scalp to this low. So do you see the sequence here though? Like failure to manipulate this low, strength switch PSP, right? Bearish candle, bullish candle, bullish candle. Very nice, like pretty decent sequence. And then we form this sequence is very, very high probability. This is advanced premium discount sequence where you have your SMT. By the way, this is technically a strength switch as well up here. I just know I got to the charts late this day. Like right here. This is technically strength switch here, so you could technically short it, but I would just wait for 12 o'clock. So 12 o'clock is opening into this strength switch PSP and next to this gap. And you're going to see that we get a SMT fill here. This asset doesn't trade into the gap. This asset does. And this asset takes the actual high. So that is a very nice sequence. So it's overall strength like this. Go to lower time frame. Look at that V shape there. I took it something like this. I don't remember, dude. Like maybe down here, whatever. But I know I got 2R to the low. At least 2R. Doesn't matter when you take it, to be honest. As long as you have 2R to the low, guys. But yeah. That, like, you see what I mean? That's pretty good sequence. Even though it's low probable PA, I would say, right? So I'm just waiting for shit like that. And then my other trade was like trying to long PM session. That was a L. And then 2 trades today, which is a break even and then basically a reattempt at the same idea, right? But an even better sequence, honestly. But all pretty high probable sequences, right? Even this here is a very obvious draw. The only gap in sight, right? This is the only gap to continue from. That's what you want. Very obvious key level. And it's a strength switch. That's the high probable sequence, strength switch, right? Pretty much at 9:30, right? So 9:30 is the candle that is trading in to the key level. The 9:30 candle. So some good things, right? Some good things that are, actually valid to execute on. So you see like the quality of my trades that I'm taking. This is absolutely a trade that you can take as well. Not this one, like mechanically GXT wise, like GXT Continuous sequence wise, yeah, but the reversal candle is apparent. And to trade a reversal candle mechanically, I need this to happen. But the sequence is great, right? Open low into a 4 hour key level. And that's the 4 hour key level that we can use because it's in the upper half of the pre-stage range, right? That's mechanical. Um, you have a gap after the original swing formation, right? That's mechanical. SMT fill, two-stage SMT fill. It's just, if you're comfortable fading that, you know, it's on you, but I'm not. So I just wait, right? So, and I also know the sequence I have to wait for. Okay, cool. We get it. Boom. Also mechanical. Boom. And this is a nice trade here as well. Um, if I was trading my live account, like this is probably a trade that I can only trade on my live account because like, unless I didn't trade today on RTY, if I didn't trade today on RTY, there's absolutely a trade I would take. Um, great, great high probable trade, I would say, right? For a trading day, especially, or like an eval trade, great trade. But yeah, that's pretty much my day, guys. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. So catch you guys later. I say it's a great day, great learning day. Yeah, catch you guys later.